Hello, welcome to the first look north of the week. We're going to start the programme looking at the riots that happened last month. It's estimated that the riots that happened at the hotel in Rotherham will cost taxpayers around £1 million. The financial impact emerged as 4 more people were jailed for their part in the disorder, including a professional boxer who called himself the Beast. Let's take a look at the latest on the legal response to the riots in August, which left staff and asylum seekers in fear of their lives when the Holiday Inn at Manvers was attacked. So far, 82 people have now been charged, with 63 of those pleading guilty. 47 people have been jailed or detained. The court heard today that damage to equipment, overtime and extra policing will cost South Yorkshire Police at least £1 million. Ollie Constable has more details about the latest court appearances.
18-year-old Ashley Lowe went to the hotel in Manvers on the 4th of August because he said there was nothing else to do. While there, he helped destroy a wooden fence and ran into the hotel after windows were smashed. As the violence flared and police tried to hold people back, he was heard to shout, "Oi, charge." Now 19, he was told he will be sent to a youth offenders institution for 2 years and 2 months after pleading guilty to violent disorder. Also appearing was former professional boxer Luke Crowcroft. This was him almost 10 years ago. But now in court, it was a fight he was never going to win. The 30-year-old was filmed helping to rock a police dog van during the violence, something he pleaded guilty to. The court was told how he represented his country as a young boxer and had now brought shame on his family. He was jailed for 2 years and 6 months. 38-year-old Ben Beardsley also appeared this morning after he admitted violent disorder. The judge said he wore a sinister mask and threw lumps of concrete towards officers. He was jailed for 2 years and 8 months. The last person to be jailed was 21-year-old Joshua Webb. Wearing a distinctive blue tracksuit, he openly admitted to going and taking part in the violence. He went to the hotel in the evening out of curiosity. It led to him throwing large pieces of wood at police. He was jailed for 2.5 years. Finally, Scott Greenwood appeared in the dock and admitted violent disorder and setting fire to a generator in the far end of the hotel car park. His part in the hearing was short when he started chatting to someone in the public gallery. He was told to be quiet, with him telling the judge to chill out. He was sent back to the cells, with a sentencing hearing set to take place next month. Ollie Constable, BBC Look North in Sheffield.
Well, 7 weeks on from that disorder, communities across the region are still feeling the impact. One youth campaigner has said the scars could take decades to heal. The BBC's Politics North programme has been speaking to people who were affected by what happened.
People are not going to forget what happened in August, just like people in the 70s didn't forget. People across Bradford, across the rest of the country, from what we know of, were literally terrified. They didn't go out. There was stopping, seizing normal activities. That's going to the sort of the day centres. The centre where we work runs a daycare group, and they put extra sort of safety provisions on because they were so worried that the far right were going to potentially turn up to places where black and brown people were congregating and hanging around. I've never experienced this real fear of uncertainty.
Extreme groups organise on social media. Many of the people at the hotel down the road from our school came from further afield than Rotherham. It created the impression that the people of Rotherham were rising up, which is not really the reality of the situation. There were, of course, people from Rotherham there, but even if you look at the convictions from that event, many of the people convicted were not from Rotherham.
Say it loud, say it clear! Refugees are welcome here!
I can only imagine what them service users and them staff was feeling like on that day. They must have been really, really scared. And for our black members and our Asian members of staff, it must have been even more scary. That fear is going to take a long, long time to get over. You know, as members of staff and as much as the service users, it's going to take a long time to actually rebuild the safety and the people feeling safe again within this country.
And you can see more discussion of the impact of the riots on Politics North, available now on the BBC iPlayer. One of the biggest road building projects in the north of England will now open in spring 2026. It's a new 3-mile-long A-road across the moors between Harrogate and Skipton, and it's been built after a series of landslips caused the A59 to be closed on multiple occasions. While the project was due to be finished next autumn, but it's now been delayed by 6 months. Our transport correspondent Spencer Stokes reports.
A 3-mile-long construction site emerging from what was moorland. Brand new roads on this scale are few and far between, especially when they're in an area of outstanding natural beauty. But the £70 million Kexgill bypass in Nidderdale was deemed to be not just desirable, but essential if the A59 between Harrogate and Skipton is to remain open.
So it sounds very simple. We're rerouting just 4 kilometres of highway, but we can't underestimate and understate the complexity and the scale of this project. It is the single biggest highways project that North Yorkshire Council has ever been involved with, one of the biggest projects ongoing at the moment in the north of England. We'll be very relieved when the works are complete and this road, the new road, can open in spring of 2026.
That relief is because the current road through Kexgill is effectively falling away into a deep ravine. Repairs can close it for months on end, with traffic diverted, leading to congestion in tiny villages like Asquith near Ilkley. This is the current A59 at Kexgill, and over the last 20 years there have been 14 separate landslips on this route, leading to prolonged closures. The most recent cost £2 million to remedy. So this road is going to be abandoned and handed over to nature once the new one is built and opened. The shape and direction of the new A59 can now be seen, but the council says it's more than a road. Walkers, cyclists and horse riders are also being catered for.
The finished product will be the highway, but there's a massive associated off-road network as well. We're laying over 8 kilometres of new bridleway and dry stone walling. It's actually the biggest dry stone walling job in the UK. And of course the old alignment on the A59 gets decommissioned and turned over to moor. So we're replacing that environmental aspect onto the old highway.
We're operating in some of the toughest, most unforgiving terrain in North Yorkshire. We're 900 feet above sea level here, open moorland. This is a unique project, a complex project, a very expensive project, but it's absolutely essential to ensure that this key east-west route can remain open into the future.
Further landslips would mean more diversions. The hope is winter will be kind and the old road can endure another 18 months before the new one opens. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Kexgill.
Let's take a look at some other stories that are coming into the newsroom now. A man found dead at his home in Huddersfield early this month has been named by police. The body of 59-year-old Simon Stell was discovered in an address on Park Road in Crossland Moor on September the 5th. A 56-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder has been released on bail. Investigations into his death continue. A huge portrait of the artist David Hockney has been returned to Bradford after months of restoration work. The sculpture by Bingley artist Marcus Levine is made up of 250,000, get this, painted nails. Last year it was removed from the streets in Little Germany so that it could be repainted and protected from the weather. People can see it in person at the city's new Darley Street Market Hall from next year. It's fabulous.
Well, it was 15 months originally. It was probably a couple of months repainting all the heads of the nails. I mean, there's not many artists that put 17 months into a single piece. Hopefully it shows, and when people come and look, they can see that, you know.
Gosh, it's incredible that, isn't it? Next tonight, trail hunters across our region have invited people to watch the sport in action as the new government plans to ban the activity. Now, trail hunting, if you don't know what it is, it was invented after fox hunting was banned in 2004. It's where a fox scent is laid across the countryside to be followed by a pack of hounds and horse riders. There's no kill at the end, but animal rights groups say it's a smokescreen for illegal hunting. Olivia Richwald investigates.
Packs of hounds chasing across the fields, followed by horse riders in tweed and jodhpurs, a sight that's been synonymous with the countryside for hundreds of years. This is trail hunting, and today the Badsworth, Bramham and South York Hunt have invited us along as they fight for the survival of their sport.
Our Hunting Act came in 20 years ago. They made us trail hunt. Since that time we have adapted, we've survived and we've flourished. Long may that continue.
Tom is the trail layer. He drags a rag soaked in fox urine across the ground to set the scent.
Basically, just a rag with a natural scent on to stimulate the scent that they'd traditionally follow, and then just got to put it in a sealed plastic bag when we're done so they don't follow me everywhere else I go.
The hounds are released with the horses and riders chasing behind. This trail is fast and furious and over in just a few minutes. Several more trails are laid throughout the morning, with about 60 riders joining in.
We get to just go faster than we normally would, and we always have a great time.
The kids are taking responsibility for themselves. The ponies, I've just been explaining some safety rules to Gilbert on the way around. They're learning something. They all have a great time.
It's been illegal to fox hunt for 20 years, and animal rights campaigners say trail hunting is a smokescreen for real hunting. They sent us footage from 2020, which appears to show 2 foxes being killed.
We've seen the trail being very carefully laid today, but sometimes the animals must pick up on a sense of a real animal. How do you prevent them from finding and hurting that animal?
Well, our huntsmen and our staff are very professional. They're very good at controlling the hounds when something's happened like that. And they are very quickly brought back under control and then back onto the trail that we've laid.
But we've been sent footage of this exact hunt where it's all gone wrong and where animals have been hurt. What do you say to that?
Yes, that happened quite a few years ago now. In the past 3 or 4 years, we've had no incidents at all. We've tightened up. We've got better at doing the job, and we think we're doing a good job.
Rob is a volunteer for a hunt saboteur group. He would like Labour to follow up on its manifesto promise and ban trail hunting.
I've personally seen foxes being chased, and kills happen unfortunately, and it is very grim. A ban has already been implemented in Scotland, which has been effective, and it's just a case of implementing that same ban in England and Wales.
I get a lot of emails from constituents who are upset by images that they see of wild animals being harmed, and the Hunting Act isn't working as well as it should. So it's time to end the cruel practice for good, close all the loopholes and ban trail hunting.
Trail hunting has already been banned or suspended on land owned by Forestry England and the National Trust. But participants are adamant they do not harm animals and will fight to save the sport they love. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, near Doncaster.
Let's turn to sport now, and ooh la la, she is back with us, fresh from Paris and the Paralympics. Bonsoir, you're looking every inch the Parisian.
Bonsoir, merci beaucoup. Yes, it was a privilege to tell the stories of our athletes for 2 weeks, but it's great to be back here with you as well, Amy, of course. Yes, so let's start with the football. And Sheffield United remain unbeaten in the Championship as they continued their encouraging start to the season, scoring twice to take the win against Hull City. Goals from Gus Harmer and Sam McCallum gave the Blades their 3rd victory from 5 games, meaning they have now won as many league matches this season as they managed in the whole of last year in the Premier League.
It's a learning team, young team. It's come down to the average age, 23. So it'll be a great experience for those boys tonight. Not an easy place to come and get a result.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Leeds lost 1-0 at home to Burnley, while Sheffield Wednesday's game against QPR came to a dramatic end with 2 extra-time goals. Wednesday thought they had stolen victory when captain Barry Bannon scored in the 93rd minute, but a corner 6 minutes into added time led to an enormous goal-mouth scramble. Look at this, with substitute Alfie Lloyd finally managing to bundle the ball home to snatch a draw for Rangers. And in League One, Huddersfield returned to winning ways with an impressive 4-0 victory at Bolton. Josh Karoma scored 2 of their goals as the Terriers move up to 3rd in the table. The Leeds Rhinos women, though, are through to their playoff semi-finals, as are York Valkyrie. The Rhinos beat Wigan by 24 points to 4 to finish 2nd in the Women's Super League table. Leeds will now play 3rd-placed York at Headingley on Sunday. And it was a big win for Sheffield Steelers, 3 in a row in fact, in the Champions Hockey League, as they beat the Swedish playoff champions Skellefteå 3-2 at the Sheffield Arena. It means with 2 games to go, the Steelers are currently 8th in the CHL standings, with the top 16 qualifying for the knockout stages. To put that in context, the Steelers have only ever won 1 game before this season in the CHL. They were very much the underdogs going in.
We're 8 points in 4 games right now. If you would have told me that before this competition started with the 4 teams we've played, I probably would have looked at you with some goofy eyes. But we've earned them. You know what I mean? There hasn't been, we've outplayed, you know, these teams for a majority of these hockey games, and we've definitely earned these points, and it just says a ton about our group.
And there were goofy eyes as well for the Sheffield Steel Kings, who won the British Para Ice Hockey Playoff Final this weekend, making them 2024 champions. Well done to them.
Merci beaucoup, Sally. We missed you.
There we are.
Nice to have you back. Now, the BBC Make a Difference Awards was on this weekend. It honours people who make life better for others. Tonight, we can celebrate winners from Radio York and Radio Sheffield. I've been speaking to Phil Hall, who's been volunteering for Barnsley Hospital for 50 years, and Rachel Blumen, who won the Good Neighbour Award thanks to her bagpiping in York. Gosh, Rachel, you've got some lungs on you. Throws out some sound, that.
It does. It's a very noisy beast.
My ears are ringing, but it sounded brilliant, and the bagpipes are a really big part as to why you won the Neighbour Award, aren't they, for
Yes.
BBC Radio York? Tell us a bit about that.
During COVID, there was clapping for NHS workers, and I decided to pipe as well. And so for our street, it definitely made a difference. People got to know each other that hadn't seen each other before, because you just drive into your house and then you drive out. And then the local community was asking if I'd come and pipe down their streets. And it was lovely. People that had not seen anybody for weeks, that were isolating, got to see some neighbours, and I think formed some bonds, and it was very precious.
Phil, you won the BBC Radio Sheffield Make a Difference Award for volunteer. 50 years you've been volunteering, haven't you?
Yep.
Tell us about that. That's incredible.
Yes, a long time. Started when I was 16 in 1973, so 51 years now. Started doing football commentaries from Barnsley Football Club to the hospital. I've been doing that ever since. And then when I retired a few years back, I started volunteering at the hospital as well.
And why do you do it? What do you get out of it?
I just enjoy doing it. It's nice to put something back into the community for a start. And you make a lot of friends. We've got a good group of volunteers. It's just nice to help people.
And you also do work with people who have dementia, don't you, and their family members too?
Yeah, I volunteer with Barnsley Football Club with the charitable trust there. And on Wednesdays we have a thing called Reminiscing Reds, whereby people get together. It's not all football related, but there is a bit of footballing with it, obviously, because it's held at the football club. But we talk about anything that anybody wants to do. We play a few quizzes, and we've got dementia patients, we've got the carers, we've got isolated people who are on their own, recently bereaved people, we've got a couple of people with learning difficulties, just right across the board, and we all have a good time.
What does it mean to get recognised for the work that you've done at these awards ceremonies, Rachel?
It's very precious, and having retired at 33 from my main profession, that has allowed me to make a difference and do things for my community and explore things that I'd never have done before. Piped in London, I've piped all over the country, and it's incredible, really is.
Well, keep up the incredible work, both of you, because it was such a humbling thing to be part of. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what a lovely do it was as well, especially the one in York that I visited. Now we're talking about wool balls, knitting and crochet actually. It seems to be having a moment right now. Lockdown caused a resurgence in interest in the yarn industry, and it's keen to keep it going. It's led wool shops in North Yorkshire knitting together to boost trade and share their expertise with customers in very imaginative new ways. Kathy Killick reports.
Calling all knitters, crocheters and general crafty types, this one's for you. 13 wool shops in North Yorkshire have got together to make this year's yarn trail bigger and better than ever before. The Yarn Trail map guides you to all the corners of North Yorkshire where wool shops like You and Yarn here in Thirsk can be found.
All the different shops have different slants on how they present yarn, the different types of yarn that they present, and it helps people's mental health and physical health because it encourages them to come out and about and to get to meet people who have similar interests.
Good morning.
Morning, Jane.
Have you got a passport for the Yarn Trail?
Yarn trailers can pick up a passport and collect a stamp in each shop visited. You don't have to buy anything or visit all the shops, but your passport can win you a woolly prize at the end of the trail. Sam Spence runs another wool shop in Thirsk. The trail has changed her mindset, now seeing former competitors as collaborators in the fight to keep physical shops like hers open and buzzing.
We'd rather send someone to another shop than let them go online and order things. So we all work in conjunction with each other. We just have to embrace everything that there is about yarn and crafting these days. We need to get more people involved in it to keep things alive. And it's such good fun as well.
Keen knitters Ulla and Bjarne are visiting from Denmark. For them, the trail is a tourist attraction. The jumpers they'll knit, a souvenir of their stay.
It is a way to remember a holiday. You put some work in, some yarn, you bought a special place, you can say. And out of this yarn comes something that reminds you of your holiday.
The trail is on for a fortnight, culminating in Yarn Dale, a festival of wool in Skipton on the last weekend of September. Get your needles ready. Cathy Killick, BBC Look North, Thirsk.
I do like a hand knitted jumper, don't ask me to make one though. Paul is here now with the latest weather view when we handle the big meteorological issues of the day. I said it right, didn't I?
You did.
We'll skim over the fact that yesterday's forecast was absolutely not right.
It was terrible. No, who was on Friday? Oh, it was Keeley.
Oh, he'll never blame himself, will he? Sunshine though, and warm days. It's been glorious and it's looking lovely again.
Yeah.
Is this an Indian summer?
Well, I mean, it's really interesting because the tabloids are going on about this Indian summer, but it really winds me up. And we don't do fake news on Look North, do we?
That surprises me that it winds you up.
Well, it does wind me up. So no, it's not an Indian summer because, I mean, the definition of an Indian summer is an unusually warm period of weather in autumn, mainly late October into early November, so it's very much later in the season, and it has its definition from North America. So there's two things wrong with it, of course. First of all, it's still only September, but secondly, we are actually technically still in summer. Summer ends on Sunday on the 22nd of September, so it's not an Indian summer. Not that anybody cares, because everybody's just enjoying this fantastic weather, aren't they?
We are, yeah, and it's about time as well. So how long is it going to last for?
I think we've got this all week. We may well have some mist and fog in places. I mean, that was Robin Hood's Bay this afternoon that you've just seen, and that's
can you miss it?
Hyde Park. The students actually got up at 2:30 this afternoon to lay in the sun for a few hours, as you can see there. So it has been really nice. This weather's going to continue for the rest of the week, but we may well, see some mist, fog and low cloud in the mornings that could take a while to break up. I mean, incidentally, we're nowhere near a record. I've been looking through the climate stats and the anomaly is still Doncaster. In 1906 in September, they reached 36 degrees, which is nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that remains the record anywhere in the UK, so that's a harmless fact for you to chew over tonight.
I enjoyed it, thank you.
If you've got any questions you want to ask me, we do this every Monday, believe it or not. The addresses are on your screen. You can fire your camera at that QR code and I'll try and answer whatever you want to throw at me. Let me have a look at a couple of pictures that you sent in, because it has been glorious, but there's been some absolutely spectacular pictures. That was the fog bank looking out from Ludden Foot into Calderdale, and equally as good on the top of Ilkley Moor. That's looking down into Wharfdale. Look at that shot. From around about 8 o'clock this morning. So spectacular pictures right across the region. If you've got any you want to send to me on X, on Instagram and on the Weather Watcher website. And if you want more on Indian summers, I've done a reel on Instagram if you want to look at that in the next few hours. Let's have a look at the headline for the next 24 hours, because it's more of the same, more skies like this, but there could well be some fog again, especially Vale of York and in the Valley Bottoms. It will take a while to clear, but high pressure in charge large. It's predominantly dry, in fact, dry all week. We just might have a bit of a disturbance coming up from France later in the week. Friday into the weekend might introduce a shower risk, and by then there will be more mist, fog and low cloud in the morning. But I mean, really, it's a lovely week to come, and you can see on the satellite picture there's hardly a cloud in the sky as we head into this evening. So it's lovely. Over the next few hours, we've managed 19 at Bramham this afternoon. Overnight, you can see the graphics just picking out one or two spots where there could be some fog. Vale of York down to the Trent Valley, temperatures coming in at 5 or 6 degrees. Wharfdale, that type of area for fog tonight. Scarborough's High Ward Symes, 4:04 and 4:38. So that fog taking a couple of hours to clear, it will do so. And then it's sunshine all the way through Tuesday. A little bit of fair weather cloud in the afternoon. We'll see temperatures coming in at around 19 Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit, and another glorious day on Wednesday. That's the forecast.
Sounds wonderful, but if yesterday's anything to go by, I will still be bringing my brolly with me to work. Just in case, you can never be too sure. That's it from us. Good night.